When Demon Targaryen turns that corner in the closing minutes of this episode, he finds something that even a man who has personally set a village on fire struggles to process. 9 members of the City Watch, arranged like a grotesque dinner party, their own bodies turned into the meal. Above them, written in blood, 3 words that change the entire trajectory of the season: a feast for traitors. And the unsettling part isn't just what's in front of him, it's what it means for everything that's about to happen to the woman he loves. Because Rhaenyra Targaryen was always going to lose the throne. That much has felt inevitable since the moment she sat on it. But this episode quietly rewrites why she loses it. And that distinction matters more than you might think. Here's what you need to understand before any of this makes sense. House of the Dragon has never been a simple retelling of George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood. That book is written like a history text, pieced together from surviving accounts, biased maesters, and secondhand gossip, which means there's an entire layer of truth the show gets to reveal that the historians of Westeros never had access to. Private conversations, hidden motives, secret alliances no chronicler could have witnessed. This episode is the clearest example yet of that gap between what history recorded and what actually happened. So let's talk about what actually happened. A city turning on itself. The episode opens with Rhaenyra's council doing what her council always does, arguing about which crisis deserves attention first. Money. Aemond and Vhagar, still missing. Ormond Hightower's aggressive push into Tumbleton. And now, a new problem that hits far closer to home. Gold Cloaks are dying in the streets, their throats and bellies opened, and nobody saw it happen. Daemon takes this personally, and for good reason. These are his men, the very soldiers propping up Rhaenyra's fragile new rule, and they haven't even been paid properly. He wants to hunt down whoever is responsible. Rhaenyra wants him focused on finding Aemond. It's a small disagreement on the surface, but it's really the first crack in a partnership that's about to be tested from every direction. Out on patrol with City Watch Commander Sir Luther Largent, Daemon starts to get uncomfortable with how brutally his own men have been enforcing order, cracking down hard on anyone suspected of scrawling insults about the Queen across King's Landing's walls. It's Rhaenyra's own paranoia driving that crackdown. And if this were simply fire and blood playing out, beat for beat, that would be the whole story. A queen so consumed by fear of losing power that she turns her city against her, until the small folk rise up and drive her out. That is, word for word, how Martin's book describes her fall. 6 months on the throne, and the people force her out through sheer resentment. But the show has other plans. Somebody is pulling the strings. While Daemon and Luther investigate 2 more mutilated bodies, a child slips around the corner, clearly watching. Moments later, that same girl is seen relaying a message inside a building, which gets attached to a pigeon and sent flying out of the city. The recipient reading it, hundreds of miles away in Tumbleton, Ormond Hightower. This is the reveal that changes everything. It isn't rebellious small folk lashing out at a cruel monarch. It isn't spontaneous unrest. Somebody with resources, patience, and a very specific goal has been orchestrating these killings from a distance. And Ormond's target isn't just the City Watch. It's Rhaenyra's legitimacy itself. To understand why, rewind slightly. Ormond tells his ward, young Daeron Targaryen, the story of Maria Martell, a ruler who refused to bow to Targaryen conquest and instead fought back using deception, sabotage, and quiet, brutal night raids rather than open battle. Ormond isn't just telling a bedtime story. He's laying out his entire strategy. He knows he can't beat a dragon in a straight fight, so instead he's doing exactly what Maria did, undermining his enemy from the inside, using fear, misinformation, and psychological pressure instead of open war. And there's something quietly devastating about who these gold coats belong to in the first place. It was the City Watch, led by Sir Luther, who turned against the Greens and let Rhaenyra back into the Red Keep in the first place. Ormond isn't picking random victims. He's punishing the exact men responsible for putting Rhaenyra on the throne and doing it in a way designed to look like the city itself has turned against her, which raises an uncomfortable question worth sitting with. Is Ormond's campaign built on genuine outrage from religious small folk who believe in restoring a rightful, pious king? Or is he simply exploiting resentment that was already there? waiting for someone ruthless enough to weaponize it. Rhaenyra's fall, reframed. This is where the show's changes really start to matter. In the book, Rhaenyra loses everything because of her own cruelty and paranoia, a self-inflicted collapse. Here, she's still making mistakes. She's neglecting her youngest son, Joffrey, refusing to acknowledge him amid the chaos. She's reactive, exhausted, chasing shadows. But the show is making something explicit that the historians never could. An outside enemy is deliberately engineering her downfall, escalating a bad situation into something catastrophic, and doing it so cleanly that Rhaenyra may never even realize it isn't the people who turned on her. It's Ormond who pushed them there. That's a fundamentally different tragedy. It's not a queen destroyed by her own madness. It's a queen being hunted by someone smarter and more patient than she anticipated, while everyone around her assumes she brought this on herself. Daemon, when a captured suspect finally breaks under interrogation, gets the confirmation neither of them wanted. The man was paid with a gold coin bearing Darren's face. Ormond isn't just weakening Rhaenyra's rule. He's already minting currency for the king he intends to install. Trapped in the walls. While all of this unfolds, Alicent is fighting her own desperate battle. Her daughter Helena, now pregnant again, and refusing to end the pregnancy, is a liability the moment anyone in Rhaenyra's court finds out. A surviving Hightower heir is a threat that can't be allowed to exist quietly. Alicent's attempts to smuggle them both out of the Red Keep in disguise unravel almost immediately. So when the two discover a hidden passage tucked beside their own bed, it feels like a miracle. It isn't. The tunnel dead ends. Their light is lost, and the door seals behind them in a way that can't be reopened from the inside. So here's a question worth asking yourself. What happens to two royal women who simply vanish, with everyone assuming they escaped, when in reality, they're sealed inside the walls of the very castle they were trying to flee? None of this exists in Fire and Blood, which means, for the first time in this storyline, the show is writing in genuinely uncharted territory. What's coming with only 3 episodes left this season? This hour is doing serious groundwork. Rhaenyra is inching toward the exact reputation Ormond is building for her. Distracted, vengeful, disconnected from her own people, even if the underlying cause is nothing like what the record will eventually claim. Meanwhile, Aemond is slowly recovering under Alice Rivers' care at Harrenhal, forming a bond that feels less like romance and more like something far stranger. Alice positioning herself as the mother figure Aemond never had, and Criston Cole pushing deeper into hostile territory with dwindling numbers and a growing death wish, is marching toward a confrontation that may cost him everything, whether or not he gets the ending he's chasing. Here's the real question this episode leaves behind. If Rhaenyra never learns the truth about who's really behind the bloodshed in her own city, does it even matter that her downfall wasn't entirely her fault? History remembers outcomes, not intentions. So what happens when a good excuse never gets recorded? That, ultimately, might be the most tragic detail in all of this. Rhaenyra Targaryen may be destined to lose everything, not because she was the tyrant history claims, but because someone far away, moving pieces she never saw, made sure it would look that way. And by the time anyone realizes what really happened, it may already be too late to matter. What do you think? Does Ormond's manipulation make Rhaenyra's fall more tragic? Or does it let her off the hook too easily? Drop your take in the comments. If this breakdown helped connect the dots, consider liking the video and subscribing for more House of the Dragon coverage as the season heads into its final stretch.